Today's video, the truth about people pleasing for female leaders, which to be honest, I didn't really think impacted me and my leadership these days until I discovered people pleasing doesn't just impact super sweet or overly nice people. It impacts the rest of us too. So today I've shared with you the truth about people pleasing for female leaders and 3 powerful insights about sneaky people pleasing is, how you can identify people pleasing strategies in your leadership and life, and how to move past people pleasing and even be a more impactful leader and still be kind. Worth your time? Totally. Let me share a story with you and just notice how it resonates with you. When I was a little girl, there was certain family dynamics that were playing out in my life, and I chose to become that child that would keep my family happy all of the time and save them from experiencing stress in their lives. A pretty big responsibility for an 8-year-old to choose to take on, right? And in my mind, things went pretty well as a child. I mostly followed the rules, I went out of my way to not ruffle feathers, and I was basically a good girl until I hit my early 20s and I got quite sick with a tumor in my pituitary gland, which is between the brain and the optical nerves. You know, the type of thing that when it happens causes stress for a family whose daughter or sister was in this situation. All of a sudden I had this uncomfortable realization that I wasn't in complete control of keeping my entire family happy, and I wasn't able to save them from experiencing stress like I had made it my own personal life purpose to do. I was so confused when I worked this out. In fact, I was more confused about that than I was about my tumor and why I had to go through the operation and move back in with my parents for 6 months because I couldn't take care of myself. But mostly, I was horrified and very disappointed in myself because in this case, I was the one making everybody unhappy and causing them stress. Bit unrealistic, right? But I had the realization and I moved on, or so I thought. Fast forward to my late 20s, sitting down with a conversation with my manager and having her say how much of a relief it was that it was my performance review today. She'd had a huge week and, you know, I was so easy and I didn't cause her a lot of stress like the rest of the team members. Now, a comment like this from a manager probably wouldn't have meant a lot to somebody else, but for me, I wore this badge of honor. And again, I had become the easy one, the one that was saving everyone from stress. But at what cost? Well, I didn't ask for help because I didn't want to make anyone else's job even harder than it was. Everyone had enough to do, right? So I'd stay up late all night working things out myself, overcoming challenges myself, things that other people probably could have sorted out in a really short period of time, if only I had asked. I didn't say no because I didn't want to upset anyone or make others have to work harder. So instead, I did it all myself. Longer, harder, faster, more. Anyone? I didn't share my challenges with my manager because I had the badge, remember? The badge that said, I don't cause stress. I'm the easy one. Always, no matter the circumstances. And as I moved into leadership, what was the cost as I stepped up that leadership ladder? Not relying on team members as much as I could have. Burnout, anyone? Making decisions and having conversations with the goal of being liked by your team. Watering down your leadership message, anyone? Being more invested in helping others through their issues and problems. Even more invested than they are. Frustration, anyone? What I've realized through this is that being a people pleaser isn't only impacting overly sweet and super nice leaders. It plays out for many of us in very sneaky ways as we move through our leadership and our life. So what now? Well, great question. What about turning up the dial on being intentional with saying yes and no? Stop, step back, take a breath, and respond with intention. Be willing to set and reset, communicate and re-communicate your boundaries over and over again. And check in with yourself before you make a decision for you or someone else. Make decisions with integrity that you can feel good about, not just in the moment, but long-term in your leadership. So today I've shared with you the truth about people pleasing for female leaders and 3 powerful insights. How sneaky people pleasing is for female leaders, how you can identify people pleasing strategies in your leadership and life, and how to move past people pleasing and be more impactful. This isn't about changing who you are. It's about taking off the mask and being even more you, more authentic, more real, and completely enough. Okay, so let me know where this impacts your leadership the most and what you're going to do about it next. And because you got something out of this message I'm sharing with you here today, maybe it's time that you got in touch and we have a conversation about how I can help you in your leadership or executive coaching so you can reconnect with your confidence and energy and gain clarity to step back in charge of your leadership and life. Now, the more we allow people pleasing to impact our careers, the more we lose trust in ourselves, and that impacts our confidence and our willingness to stand up and speak in an influential way. So right now, why don't you go and watch my next video on how to trust yourself again, where I take you through the exact 3 steps to help you trust yourself again, have you making better decisions at work, accelerate your leadership, and step back in charge of your leadership in life. I'll see you over there in a sec.